go to heavy metal for 1 second. I could talk more about this band than you can probably, but and then we'll transition into other artists as well, come like solo artists and something like that in a sec. But Metallica,
And didn't they get really big in the 90s, though?
No. So Enter Sandman was 1991, but they had 4 albums in the 80s.
Okay.
And I want to put, guess they've had a lot of success for like they're mainly known for their first 5 albums. I want to bring them up though for a sec because Metallica got their start. Metallica got their start in the 1980, I believe it was their first album. 1981 they were formed. By 1983 they had their first album out, and then 84, 85 was Ride the Lightning. 86 was Master of Puppets. 88 was And Justice for All, which is my favorite Metallica album. And then 1991 was Metallica's The Black Album, which was obviously what is one of the best selling albums of all. Like, it's funny, just really a side note, that album, Bill, I don't know if you knew this, that album will re-enter the Billboard 200 at random some points because it still sells so many copies. At random, it still sells so many copies today of Metallica's that one album because of Enter Sandman, because of Sad But True, the production quality on it. It's a fantastic album to start to finish. It's when Metallica went like mainstream, but who cares if they sold out? They became one of the biggest bands in the world by then. But in the 80s, though, yeah, go ahead.
Because like metalheads, like real metalheads,
yeah,
like these pure metalheads who could be real pain in the ass, they hate Metallica,
right?
Like, because they're not real metal. You know, the real metal's
yeah, that's not like, I don't really count that. I mean,
it sounds like you're passing a kidney stone.
It really does. But I have to say that Metallica is one of those. Oh my God. Metallica is one of those bands I would go see live in a heartbeat if they were to come around locally. I'm not sure when they would come around, but they're doing more tours. They might tour next year because they just tour. They tour. They might put a new album soon. I'm not sure, but they're an act I would like to go see live. I've heard incredible things about them live. Heard they're really, really loud though. So, like, you thought like Def Leppard or Journey was loud. You want to talk loud? Metallica, like AC/DC loud, or maybe louder?
Really?
Like, I'll give you an example. My dad saw AC/DC. He has not seen Metallica. My dad saw AC/DC live in 2008. And he said, to give you an idea of how loud it was, the venue there at the Madison Square Garden, the show was so loud to buy a beer at the concession stand, and it was still too loud.
So it's like, okay, what can I get you, buddy? I'll take a Bud Light. What? I'll take a Bud Light. What? I'll take a Bud Light.
Literally, Metallica and AC/DC might be the loudest shows on earth. They put Kiss and Guns N' Roses and stuff to shame as far as loud goes. It's scary loud. So, but Metallica, they had 4 albums in the 80s. They are still one of the biggest bands alive. Probably the most successful heavy metal act out there. I would say, inspiring countless generations of fans and whatnot, even fans of other genres as well. I mean, their songs are incredible. But they started
nothing else matters.
Exactly. Exactly. But they were one of the most powerful live acts of the 80s too. Like, it's funny. I was reading up on something. They started playing arenas, like arenas like for hockey arenas and basketball arenas before MTV even heard of them in the 80s. That's how popular they were that quickly. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, they got big so quick after their first album and second album. They were still a support act for Ozzy Osbourne in like 85 because of Master Puppets. But they...
Just JT, obey your master.
Yeah, literally.
Obey your master of puppets.
I have to see them live at one point. I just don't want to go deaf. You know what I mean? So, I do know they are playing New York City at Central Park in about 10 days at a festival, so it's pretty interesting.
So
I cannot go. I probably won't. I'd rather see them in a bit on their own instead of at a festival. If that makes sense.
Because then you got to wait for. You got to go through all the other people who are playing. It's going to take forever.
Yeah, exactly. But and plus, how can we forget Mariano Rivera of the New York Yankees using it as his the Sandman? He used that as his intimidation tactic to win a bunch of games.
So. He used it as his open song, as his walk-in song,
his walkout song, "Enter Sandman" by Metallica. Yep.
Yeah, when they had his Mariano Rivera Day, they actually got Metallica to come play that live.
That's awesome. Straight up.
They actually got Metallica to come play it live.
Yeah.
And he actually literally ran out when they were playing it.
Yeah. And it's funny. There's one more thing about Metallica before we go on to our next. We're going to switch over to different genres in a second. Different styles of rock and stuff and pop and stuff in the 80s in general. But Metallica, I mean, they really won their success pretty quickly. They, like I said, they are. I cannot testify for seeing them live, but I've heard they are a powerful live act on stage and whatnot. So that's always a good time, of course.
Is that?
But bottom line,
that's on your list of people to see.
Yes, if Metallica is coming anywhere locally, not at a festival, because I'd rather see them in like their own venue. I would like to see them at a venue on their personally, but that's me.
Is that one of the shows you're going to drag me to, or Bruce is the only one you're going to drag me to?
If you want to see Metallica, Bill, I will take you.
I don't know. You said they're loud, so
I don't want to go. Like, we have to bring earplugs no matter what.
And plus, me with my issues.
Exactly. So I gotta.
So I don't know. That might bother me. We'll see. I'll think about it though. I need this time to contemplate and meditate on this thought.
Yeah. So.
But anyway.
But bottom line, Metallica, check them out if you've not. And they formed in 1981. They had 4 albums in the 80s. They're just incredible in general. So check them out.